Every morning before your feet touch the floor, a silent decision is already waiting for you. Will you run your day or will your day run you? Most people never notice this moment. They wake up reacting, scrolling, checking, comparing, worrying. The world grabs the steering wheel and they simply hold on, hoping not to crash. But a select few quietly choose another route. They design their day. They shape their actions instead of letting external forces shape them. They take ownership of their emotions, their habits, their attention. They master the micro-choices that build a life. And this is where self-mastery truly lives, not in massive leaps but in the art of daily control. You don't need to become a new person overnight. You don't need to erase your flaws or pretend stress doesn't hit you. You only need to learn how to take command of the simple decisions that repeat every 24 hours. What will you focus on? What will you feed your mind? What actions will you complete even when motivation is gone? Who will you choose to be when no one is watching? This book is your practical toolkit for that transformation. Self-Mastery 2.0 is not about chasing perfection. It's about becoming unshakable in who you are becoming. It is about building systems that protect your time, your attention, and your peace. It is about learning how to win your mornings so the rest of the day has no choice but to follow. It is about making decisions based on identity, not moods. And here is the part most people never understand. Improvement doesn't start when you feel ready. It starts in the middle of chaos, distractions, temptations, and setbacks. This journey respects your humanity. It acknowledges your struggles. It knows you have goals that scare you and habits that betray you. But it also knows something else, that the life you desire is already within reach, waiting for you to become the person who can handle it. So let's make a deal. As you move through these chapters, don't just read. Reflect. Challenge yourself. Pause after breakthroughs. Reread when resistance fights back. This book is not a lecture. It is a training ground. It requires your participation. I will give you principles, strategies, and real-world exercises, but you must supply courage. You must do the work that most people avoid because it's uncomfortable. Daily control is uncomfortable. But so is regret. Think of the greatest achievements you admire. People with discipline, confidence, emotional stability, and clarity of purpose. None of them were born with those traits. They were built, day by day, decision by decision. No shortcuts, no magic, only self-mastery. Now imagine waking up with a clear plan that excites you. Imagine moving through challenges with calm. Imagine having the strength to say no to the distractions that once controlled you. Imagine ending each night proud of how you lived your day. That version of you is not fantasy. It's a skill set, and you are about to learn it. Your growth begins now, not tomorrow, not when life becomes easier. Today, right in this moment. Take a deep breath. Sit up with intention, because from this point forward, you are stepping into a life where you control your day before it controls you. Welcome to Self-Mastery 2.0, the art of daily control. Let's begin. Maybe you've tried before. You set goals, made promises, crafted plans. For a few days you felt unstoppable. But then life happened. A bad mood, a stressful call, a deadline, a distraction, and suddenly you slipped. You told yourself you'd restart next Monday, next month, next year. And deep down, part of you began to believe that change is temporary and setbacks are destiny. This book refuses that belief. From today, every slip is data, not defeat. Every challenge is feedback, not failure. Every day is a fresh experiment, not a final verdict. You are here because a part of you knows you were built for more. You've had glimpses of your potential, moments where your discipline shocked even you. That version of yourself isn't a rare miracle. It's the real you uncovered. You'll find practical tools here. Morning rituals that sharpen your mind, focus techniques that keep distractions powerless, habit structures that lock in consistency, emotional techniques that keep you calm when life tests you. You will learn how to set boundaries without guilt, how to plan without procrastination, and how to design a personal operating system that supports your success every single day. But get this clearly, self-mastery isn't about controlling the world. It's about controlling your response to it. You can't predict challenges. You can't silence every distraction. You can't avoid every negative emotion. But you can learn how to remain the driver even when the road turns wild. Throughout this book, you will find actionable exercises. Complete them. Write your answers. Observe your behaviors. These exercises will push you closer to the life you want. Example: tomorrow morning before you touch your phone, sit on the edge of your bed and ask, what 3 actions will make today a win for me? Do them. Watch how quickly the feeling of control returns. So let me ask you directly, what are you willing to do daily to earn the future you talk about? What discomfort are you willing to endure to prove you are serious about your growth? What distractions are you willing to leave behind so your potential can finally breathe? You are not reading this by accident. Something in you is ready to evolve. Ready to stop negotiating with excuses. Ready to build a life that reflects your highest standards. And that begins with mastering the ordinary hours that most people waste. This introduction is simply a doorway. Once you cross, you commit to discipline, to clarity, to action. You commit to treating each day like a vote for the person you want to become. Your habits are ballots. Your choices are proof. And by the end of this journey, your results will speak louder than your intentions. Are you ready? Then turn the page. Control awaits. Chapter 1. The first battle. Winning your mornings. Your alarm rings. For a split second, your mind negotiates. 5 more minutes. I'll start tomorrow. I'm too tired. That moment, right there, is the first battle of the day. And although it looks small, it determines everything. Most people lose before they even stand up. But not you. Not anymore. This chapter is about winning the day before the world even wakes up, taking back control of your first hour, and designing a morning that makes you unstoppable. Think of your morning like a launch pad. If a rocket begins its journey pointed even 1 degree off course, it ends up thousands of miles away from its target. Your day works the same way. The smallest misalignment in the morning becomes chaos by evening. You deserve better than waking up rushed, scrolling, and reacting. You deserve a morning that builds the identity you want to live by. Here's the truth. Your brain is most programmable in the first 20 minutes after waking. Your identity, focus, belief, and momentum are vulnerable to influence. When you choose instant distraction, phone, notifications, messages, you hand over control of your day to everyone except yourself. But when you choose intention, stillness, movement, clarity, you send a message to your brain, I am the one in charge. And your brain will obey. So imagine this. The moment you wake up, you sit on the edge of your bed. Feet grounded on the floor. You take 1 deep breath. Before touching your phone, you ask yourself 3 identity-based questions. Who do I want to be today? What actions will make me proud tonight? What distractions will I refuse? That simple pause shifts your entire day from autopilot to leadership. You might argue that you're not a morning person. But being a morning person isn't genetic. It's trained. Your body adapts to what you repeatedly do. If you stay up scrolling until your mind is exhausted and then struggle to wake up, that doesn't define you. It just reflects your current system. Systems are not who you are, they are what you can change. Winning your morning starts with 1 guiding rule: protect the first hour. Treat it as sacred territory, reserved only for actions that strengthen you. This is where you build discipline, energy, and mental clarity. You don't need a 2-hour routine with candles, journaling, exercise, and meditation all at once. You need 1 simple ritual, intentional action that aligns with your highest self. Here's a challenge. For the next week, choose 1 non-negotiable morning habit. 1 action that tells your brain you're serious. It could be making your bed neatly, drinking water before anything else, doing 10 push-ups, reading 2 pages of a book, sitting in silence for 60 seconds. The action doesn't matter nearly as much as the identity it builds. A person who chooses action over excuses. Small wins are powerful because confidence is built through evidence. Every time you follow through, even if tiny, you collect proof that you are becoming disciplined. And discipline is a muscle that grows with use. Imagine looking in the mirror knowing that when you say you will do something, you do it. That is the foundation of self-mastery. Trust in yourself. But let's be real. You will have days where motivation is low, where your bed feels like a trap, where stress tries to drag you back to old habits. Those days matter the most. Anyone can act when they feel inspired. The question is, who are you when you don't feel like it? Your future depends on that answer. Winning the morning on a bad day is worth 10 victories on good days. Your morning routine is your armor. Before the world can throw problems at you, you fortify your mind. Before negativity can reach you, you strengthen your perspective. Before distractions can invade, you set your direction. This is how powerful people operate, not through control of outer events but mastery of internal responses. If you want practical steps, here's a simple formula to start. Wake up with intention. Get out of bed as soon as the alarm rings. No negotiating. Hydrate your body. Water sparks energy. Move your body. Even 60 seconds of movement wakes your brain. Plan 3 wins. Decide what success looks like before chaos begins. Avoid your phone during the first hour. Protect your mind from noise. Apply this and you will notice something surprising. Your day feels slower, more spacious. You stop feeling like you're chasing time and instead feel like time is following your command. Stress loses power. Procrastination fades. You show up more confidently in everything you do. Here is an exercise to anchor this transformation. Tonight, prepare your morning. Lay out your clothes. Set your alarm across the room. Choose one simple habit to execute. Write your 3 wins on a sticky note and place it where you will see it immediately. Success begins with preparation. Do this today and tomorrow morning becomes easier by default. Now take a moment and imagine a version of you who masters every morning for the next 6 months. Imagine the habits you would build, the confidence you would carry, the opportunities you would attract, the respect you would earn from yourself. That transformation begins with one choice. Do not delay your life. Master your morning and you master your identity. Master your identity, and the world will have no choice but to respect the person you have become. It won't always feel comfortable. Growth rarely does. But comfort has never created a stronger version of you. Comfort never built discipline. Comfort never delivered a dream. This path isn't about choosing what feels good now. It's about choosing what will feel incredible later. Pride, progress, control. The person who snoozes their alarm is choosing comfort with the cost of regret. The person who stands up immediately chooses growth with the reward of momentum. There will be mornings when doubt whispers, "Skip today." You will silence it. There will be mornings when your mind tries to bargain. You will refuse. You will show up because self-mastery isn't about feeling like it. It's about acting like the person you are becoming. Every decision builds a vote for your identity. Make your votes count. Right now, you are writing the story of your day. And the first sentence is how you wake up. Will it be a story of reaction or leadership? Will you wait for life to push you or will you push first? You already know the answer. The version of you who finishes this book is a leader, a commander of their attention, a guardian of their peace, a creator of their momentum. So tomorrow morning when your alarm rings, treat that moment like the start of a new life. Choose to win the first battle. Choose consistency over comfort. Choose the identity you promised yourself. Your morning is your power. Claim it, protect it, and own it every single day. Because when you win your mornings, everything else follows. OnTheDay.go. Chapter 2. Mastering Attention. The War Against Distraction. Your day is under attack. Every app, every notification, every vibration in your pocket is designed to steal your attention. Not accidentally, intentionally. There are teams of engineers whose full-time job is to make sure you keep scrolling, tapping, reacting. They fight for your focus because attention is the most valuable currency in the modern world. And if you don't learn how to protect it, your goals will starve while your distractions feast. Let's be completely real. Distraction has become the default operating system of life. You sit down to work and suddenly you're checking a message. You open your phone for one thing and 10 minutes later, you've forgotten why you picked it up. You plan to read but end up watching short videos until your brain feels numb. It's not because you're weak. It's because your environment is built to hijack your mind. To master your day, you must learn how to reclaim your attention on demand. Imagine attention as a spotlight. Wherever you shine it, your energy, focus, creativity, and discipline follow. But most people scatter their spotlight in every direction, making progress in none. Self-mastery demands that you direct your spotlight with intention. Here's the key: attention and identity are connected. If you constantly feed distractions, your brain forms the identity of someone easily controlled by impulses. But if you train yourself to stay engaged with what matters, you build the identity of someone who finishes what they start, someone whose mind obeys their goals. Every choice you make with your focus is shaping who you are. Start with awareness. Track the moments you get pulled away. What triggers the distraction? Is it boredom? Stress? The urge for quick pleasure? When you shine the spotlight of awareness on the roots of distraction, you take away its power. Distraction thrives in autopilot. Attention thrives in clarity. Now let's talk about the most dangerous thief of attention, the smartphone. That small rectangle contains a million portals to escape responsibility. It knows your weaknesses. It knows what you find entertaining. It knows how to keep you watching. And it will win if you don't set rules. You wouldn't leave your front door wide open for thieves. So why leave your focus unlocked? Here's a simple strategy: create focus zones. These are blocks of time where distractions are forbidden. Turn on Do Not Disturb. Put your phone in another room. Close unnecessary tabs. Create a bubble where only the task in front of you exists. Start with short blocks, 20 minutes of pure focus followed by a short rest. You'll be shocked by how much you can achieve when your spotlight isn't constantly stolen. But even more powerful is learning how to recognize the exact second a distraction tries to take over. That moment when your hand moves toward your phone, when your mind says, just a quick check, that is the decision point. If you catch it, pause, breathe, choose differently, you reclaim control. Each time you do this, your discipline strengthens just like a muscle. Another useful tactic: replace the question, what do I need to do, with what do I refuse to be distracted from? One question focuses on tasks. The other focuses on identity. When you decide you are the type of person who protects their attention, your actions follow effortlessly. There's also a myth we need to destroy: multitasking. People brag about juggling many things at once, but multitasking is a lie. Your brain switches rapidly between tasks, losing time and quality with every shift. The result? Slower thinking, more mistakes, and exhaustion. The most effective people on earth do one thing at a time with full intensity. That's not boring, that's power. Let's make this practical. Choose a focused mission each day, one task that, when completed, makes the day feel like a success. Write it down. Place it somewhere visible. When distractions whisper, "This will only take a second," remember your focus mission. Your job isn't to check everything, it's to finish what matters. Here's an exercise for today. For the next hour, silence all notifications. Close messaging apps. Put your phone face down out of reach. Work on one task until it's done or until the hour ends. Notice how often distraction tries to pull you away. Observe the difference in productivity. Record how you feel. You are teaching your brain how to obey your goals again. Attention is the gatekeeper of your future. You cannot build your dream life if your focus is scattered. You cannot create deep success with a shallow attention span. Imagine what would change if your mind became a weapon instead of a playground for distractions. You are not fighting for today's productivity. You are fighting for the identity of someone who finishes strong, who refuses to be controlled by impulses. Every moment you protect your attention, you sharpen your future. You become harder to influence, harder to distract, harder to stop. And here's the greatest reward: the more you focus, the easier it becomes. The brain loves patterns. When you build a routine of presence, your mind stops craving constant stimulation. You begin to enjoy the calm of concentration. You start to experience flow, that magical state where time disappears and progress feels effortless. Flow isn't luck. It's the result of disciplined attention. So here is your new rule: attention first, entertainment later. Earn your distractions. Use them as a reward, not a default habit. There is nothing wrong with watching videos, chatting with friends, or scrolling for fun, if you have already invested your best energy into your priorities. Picture your future self 6 months from now. The version of you who protects their attention daily will be stronger, more skilled, more confident, and closer to success than you can imagine. All because you chose to focus while others chose to scroll. You are the commander of your spotlight. Aim it wisely. Your future is waiting on your ability to pay attention today. Every day presents a new battle for your attention. And every day you get to decide the outcome. Will you let your mind be captured, or will you lead it? Will you chase distractions, or will you chase purpose? The choice is made in seconds, but the impact lasts a lifetime. Protect your focus like a treasure. Build a mind that follows your command. That is how daily control becomes self-mastery. When you choose focus, you choose progress. When you choose progress, you choose transformation. And transformation, repeated daily, builds a life that feels uniquely yours. This is your chance to take back the wheel. Do not waste it. Now. Chapter 3: Emotional Command, Calm Under Chaos. Life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Stress arrives uninvited. People test your patience. Unexpected problems show up at the worst times. And in those heated moments, your emotions decide your actions. That is why emotional control is one of the highest levels of self-mastery. The world will always bring pressure. Your job is to remain unshaken. You are not here to avoid storms. You are here to command yourself through them. Most people let emotions lead. A small inconvenience ruins the whole day. One message changes their mood. A single setback breaks their motivation. They react first and think later. But people who master daily control do the opposite. They feel emotions without letting emotions choose their behavior. They pause before responding. They breathe before exploding. They stay composed while others panic. That is true power. Let's make this clear. Emotional mastery isn't about suppressing what you feel. You are human. You will feel frustration, doubt, anger, fear. Emotional mastery is about deciding what those feelings mean and what they cause you to do. You can feel anger yet still speak calmly. You can feel fear yet still take action. You can feel pressure yet still move forward with clarity. Control is choosing the response, not the emotion. Your brain has a survival instinct called the fight or flight response. When something triggers you, that instinct reacts instantly, pushing you toward anger or avoidance. But there is a tiny space between stimulus and response, a pause filled with freedom. That pause is where emotional mastery lies. When you learn to extend that space, you stop being a slave to impulses and become the leader of your own mind. Here's a practical tool. Name the emotion. When you say, "I am stressed," you merge with the feeling. But when you say, "I am noticing stress," you separate yourself from it. That small shift turns emotion into something you observe, instead of something you become. Say it out loud. I am noticing frustration. I am noticing anxiety. Your identity remains intact while the emotion passes through. Breathing is another weapon. Deep, slow breaths tell your nervous system that you are safe. They interrupt panic. They reset your clarity. Try this in stressful moments. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4. Repeat 3 times. Watch the chaos inside you shrink. The situation might remain the same, but you change, and that changes everything. Here's another truth. Negative emotions are messengers. Anger shows where your boundaries are violated. Fear shows where growth is calling. Sadness shows what you care about. Instead of fighting these emotions, listen to what they reveal. Once you get the message, thank the emotion and let it go. You don't need to live in it. The strongest people in the world are not emotionless. They simply refuse to let feelings control the direction of their life. Discipline is emotional control in action. You work even when you don't feel like it. You speak with respect even when annoyed. You stay calm even when provoked. That is strength. Here's your exercise. Tomorrow, expect something to irritate you. When it happens, pause. Notice the urge to react. Take 1 deep breath. Choose a response that reflects who you want to be, not what you feel in the moment. Write down what happened and how you handled it. You will be surprised by how powerful you feel afterward. Remember this, emotional reactions are habits. If you always explode when triggered, your brain learns that pattern. If you always avoid difficult situations, your brain learns fear. But if you repeatedly choose calm over chaos, your brain learns confidence. Every moment you stay composed is a vote for a stronger identity. People will judge you by how you behave in pressure. More importantly, you will judge yourself by how you handle those moments. Pride comes from responding with integrity when emotions demand otherwise. The calm mind wins more battles than the angry one. So imagine yourself months from now. Challenges arrive and instead of crumbling, you breathe. Instead of reacting, you think. Instead of losing control, you command yourself. You become the person who can be trusted, with opportunities, relationships, leadership, and success. That version of you is built through daily mastery of emotions. Life will not get easier, but you will get stronger. And your strength will come from internal control, not external comfort. The world doesn't need more people who panic. It needs people who remain steady. It needs you. Emotional mastery is the difference between someone who repeats the same year over and over and someone who grows every day. You are choosing growth. Feel what you feel. Then choose your response with intention. The world will feel the shift. So will you. This is emotional command, and today it becomes a part of you. Now let's talk about triggers. Everyone has certain buttons that when pushed, unleash a powerful reaction. Maybe it's disrespect. Maybe it's feeling ignored. Maybe it's failure. Knowing your triggers is not weakness, it's preparation. When you understand what sets you off, You can prepare your response before the situation even happens. Write a list of the top 3 triggers that challenge your emotional control. Then write the response you want to practice instead. That is how you train your reactions. Another technique is emotional forecasting. Every day before you start, predict at least one thing that might frustrate you. A coworker's attitude, heavy traffic, a delayed plan. When that thing happens, instead of reacting with surprise, you say, "I expected this. I am ready." You stay in control because the event no longer owns you. Emotional mastery builds trust, especially self-trust. When you know that you can remain calm no matter what, fear loses its grip. Suddenly challenges feel smaller. Conversations become easier. Goals feel possible. Your emotional strength becomes your competitive advantage. You walk into rooms with peace while others carry chaos. You are training yourself to be unshakable. Not by avoiding emotions but by channeling them. Power doesn't mean loud. Power means steady. When others lose control, you stay in command. When others react, you choose. And every time you choose calm, the future opens wider for you. Embrace the work. The results will reshape your life. This is how you become the strongest version of yourself. One composed, intentional response at a time. Stand tall in your inner authority. You are not a victim of emotion. You are the author. Every day gives you new scenes to write, and emotional control is the pen. Keep writing with discipline, with clarity, with courage. You will become the calm in every storm, the strength others look to, and the leader of your own destiny. This is who you are becoming starting now. Chapter 4. Habit Systems, Building on What You Do Daily. Every day begins like an empty container. You decide what fills it, chaos or clarity. Most people wake up already defeated, scrolling through noise, reacting to demands, surrendering to urgency instead of intention. Self-mastery begins when you realize that your choices, not your circumstances, determine your direction. And the most powerful choices are the small ones, done repeatedly. Big goals are heavy. They look good when spoken out loud, but they often collapse under their own pressure. Small wins, on the other hand, are light, flexible, repeatable. They sneak past overwhelm and build momentum quietly. They are the bricks that build a life of control. Think of a daily habit you want. Morning exercise, journaling, focused work, reading. The mistake most people make is trying to build the habit at its maximum size from day one. They try to run 5 kilometers instead of just putting on their shoes. They try to meditate for an hour instead of breathing deeply for 2 minutes. They try to overhaul their life overnight. And when they inevitably slip, they don't just fall, they quit. But what if the goal was not perfection, but progress? What if success meant doing the smallest possible version of the habit every single day? 10 push-ups. 1 page. 5 minutes of learning. Bite-sized commitments that are too small to fail. Here's the truth. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. A tiny habit done daily outperforms a heroic effort done rarely. The goal is not to exhaust yourself. It's to prove to yourself that you follow through. Let's make this practical with a system called the Daily 3. 1 habit for the body, something that strengthens you physically. 1 habit for the mind, something that develops your intelligence and skills. 1 habit for the spirit, something that strengthens discipline and inner peace. You are no longer living accidentally. You are building yourself. You are stacking wins. Now let's talk friction. Friction is anything that makes a habit harder to start. If your workout clothes are buried under other clothes, that's friction. If your learning materials are scattered, that's friction. If your phone keeps distracting you, that's friction. Reduce the friction and the habit becomes easier to perform. You can also increase friction for bad habits. Want to scroll less? Log out of apps or delete them from your home screen. Want to eat less junk food? Don't keep it in the house. Make the bad habits inconvenient. Here is a challenge for you. Choose 1 habit for the body, 1 for the mind, 1 for the spirit. Write them down. Now shrink them until they feel almost laughably small. That is your commitment. Small enough that you can still do them on your worst days. Remember this rule: a day is a win if you complete your small habits. Even if the rest of the day falls apart. You will be tempted to skip the habit because it's too small to matter. That is the old identity speaking. The identity that wanted quick results without long-term effort. But you are crafting a new identity now, someone who shows up daily. Imagine 1 year from today. 365 days of stacking tiny wins. Your body, mind, and discipline will be unrecognizable. It won't be because you made massive leaps, it will be because you took consistent steps. If you want to change your life, don't aim for radical transformation. Aim for relentless continuity. Small wins stack. Small wins accumulate. Small wins become unstoppable momentum. Your job each day is simple. Show up for yourself. Do the small version. Never break the chain. Self-mastery isn't found in big moments. It's found in the daily ones. Let's take a real example. Imagine a person named Alex who wants to start reading more. In the past, Alex would set a huge target, a full chapter every day. That sounded impressive, but after a week of long work days and exhaustion, the goal became a burden. The book collected dust and frustration grew. So Alex picked a new rule: 1 page a day. Just one. Even if tired, even if busy. 1 page was always possible. And something interesting happened. Most days after finishing the 1 page, Alex kept going. Your mind responds to winning. Wins release motivation chemicals. When you show yourself that you can keep a promise, your self-image evolves. You begin to trust yourself. And a person who trusts themselves is unstoppable. Here's another scenario. Maybe your goal is fitness. Instead of a full gym routine, start with the simplest move, 10 squats or a 1-minute plank. Your muscles might not change after 1 day, but your identity will. You become someone who works out daily. The body will follow the identity. Habits are not about what you do. They are about who you are becoming. Take a moment right now and think, who do you want to become by the end of this year? Not what do you want to do, who do you want to be? Write down that identity. Let every small win serve that future version of you. Your brain loves patterns. It repeats what it recognizes. So give it a pattern of consistency. A simple equation. Small action plus daily repetition equals massive life shift. Here is another exercise. Track your daily 3 in a notebook or phone note. Put a check mark every day you complete your small version. That growing line of check marks will become your motivation. You won't want to break the streak. And here is a secret. Motivation comes after action, not before. You don't wait to feel ready, you act and the readiness appears. Like a match that sparks only after striking. Some days will still be hard. You'll wake up tired. You'll face distractions, setbacks, unexpected problems. Those are the days when the small wins matter even more. Those are the days when a tiny habit protects your progress. When things feel out of control on the outside, these small promises keep control alive on the inside. Life will always offer excuses. Your habits are your refusal to accept them. Your habits are your declaration that you choose direction over distraction. Your habits are your proof that self-mastery is not a dream, it's a daily decision. One day the small will become second nature. What once required effort will become your new baseline. That's the moment you realize something powerful. You have changed. And that change didn't come from willpower explosions or overnight revolutions. It came from the art of daily control. So as you move forward, keep this truth close. Greatness hides inside the ordinary. Success is simply the result of showing up for yourself when no one is watching, when there is no applause, when progress feels slow. Each small win is a vote for the person you are becoming. Cast enough votes and that identity becomes reality. Keep choosing the small action, the tiny promise, the repeatable win each day until mastery becomes your natural state. Chapter 5. The Micro-Mastery Blueprint. Every transformation you admire, from bodies built in gyms, to businesses built in bedrooms, to minds built in silence, began with a daily decision so small it was almost invisible. Today you're going to build your own blueprint for micro-mastery, controlling the tiny choices that decide who you become. Let's start with a truth you may not like. You don't rise to your goals, you sink to your systems. Motivation fades. Hype dies. But systems? They repeat. Every single day. Think about a time you told yourself you'd change everything tomorrow. You felt the fire. You wrote the plan. You visualized the success. Then tomorrow came, and nothing changed. Why? Because the plan required a different version of you than the one who woke up. Big change demands big energy, and most days you won't have it. But micro-change? Micro-change asks for almost nothing. That is its genius. Imagine you want the discipline of a monk. Instead of 2 hours of meditation, you sit for 2 minutes. Want a book written? 1 paragraph a day. Want strength? 1 push-up before you sleep. It sounds laughably small, Yet the person who does one push-up daily becomes a different person than the one who does none. Micromastery works because each tiny action broadcasts a message to your identity. Every time you do it, you are casting a vote for the type of person you want to become. An identity change is the cheat code to permanent discipline. So here's your blueprint. 4 steps. Simple. Repeatable. Unstoppable. Step 1. Choose one non-negotiable habit. Pick a habit so small you feel silly even saying it aloud. Something guaranteed to be completed even on your worst day. This habit becomes your new baseline of self-respect. Step 2. Anchor it to a trigger. Attach your habit to something you already do daily, after brushing teeth, before checking your phone, when you sit on your bed. Triggers turn discipline into autopilot. Step 3. Track it without excuses. No tracking equals no progress. Use a simple method. Draw a tiny square on your calendar each time you complete your habit and shade it in. When you see a chain forming, your brain will want to keep it alive. Step 4. Scale only when bored. Do not rush. Let your habit become so normal that skipping it feels strange. Only then increase intensity, 2 minutes to 5. 1 paragraph to 1 page. 1 push-up to 10. This is the art of daily control. Mastering the minimum until the minimum becomes the maximum. Now, a moment of reflection. What is the one habit you always wished you had? What version of you is waiting behind that habit? Close your eyes for 3 seconds. See that person. Good. Now let's make it real. Exercise, the daily vote contract. Write this sentence. Every day I cast 1 vote for my future by doing or at least Fill the blanks with your smallest step. Then sign your name. Not as who you are, but who you're becoming. And tomorrow morning, you start the streak. Because when you master your smallest action, you unlock your biggest transformation. Ready to cast your vote? Your future is waiting. Let's dive deeper into why this works. Your brain loves patterns. It scans for what you repeatedly do and locks those behaviors into identity-based habits. When you prove consistency, your brain rewires, this is who we are now. Identity is not found, it is built. Each repetition is a brick. Think about your phone. You don't debate unlocking it. It's automatic. Imagine discipline becoming that effortless. It starts with 1 daily promise you refuse to break. Here's where most people fall. They want rewards today. We are trained by fast dopamine, scrolling, notifications, skipping the line to pleasure. Micromastery forces your brain to appreciate long-term wins again. But what about the days you feel low? The days motivation evaporates? That's when your micro-habit becomes a lifeline. You may not do much, but you still do something. And something beats nothing every time. Interactive check-in. What is one habit you tried and quit? Why did it fail? If that habit was broken into the smallest step, would it feel doable? What emotion hits you when you imagine sticking with it for 90 days? Let's break an illusion. Progress isn't loud. It's invisible. You don't notice muscles growing daily. You don't notice wisdom increasing per page. Success shows up later and asks if you remember planting the seeds. Micro wins create macro results. But only if you keep going. Example time. Person A goes to the gym once a week for 2 hours. Person B does 20 minutes daily. Who transforms faster? The one who shows up more often, because consistency beats intensity. Another example, writing. Person A waits for creativity and writes when inspired. Person B writes a single paragraph daily whether they feel like it or not. 3 months later, Person B has chapters. Person A has excuses. Which path do you want? Now imagine your life 365 days from today. Same bed, same clothes, same phone. But you? Completely upgraded. Because you kept a tiny promise to yourself every single day. This is your turning point. Commitment Upgrade Challenge. Tonight, before you sleep, say this sentence aloud. Today I won. Tomorrow I win again. Let your brain hear your confidence. And when doubt whispers, remember this rule. If you can't do the full habit, do the minimum. If you can't do the minimum, do a fraction. If you can't do a fraction, just show up in the space where the habit happens. 1 minute in the gym still counts. Sitting with an open book still counts. Kneeling for 1 breath still counts. Because presence is progress. Final reflection. What is the smallest victory you can guarantee today? Not dream about. Not talk about. Guarantee. Say it to yourself right now. I can do this. Because you can. And because tiny doesn't mean weak, it means unstoppable when repeated. Micromastery is how you quietly outgrow your old life and step into the one you were meant to build. Control the small. The small controls everything. Victory. Chapter 6. The War Inside Your Mind. Before you ever lose a battle in the world, you lose it first in your mind. Discipline isn't defeated by heavy burdens or impossible barriers. It is defeated silently by inner whispers. Not today. I'll start tomorrow. One more time won't hurt. You know those voices? They sound like you. They feel like reason. But they are resistance. There are two versions of you living inside your skull. One wants elevation. The other wants comfort. One moves you forward. The other keeps you still. Every day begins with their conflict. The first voice wakes up ready to hunt. The second voice begs for 5 more minutes. The world sees who wins. Here's the truth you must grip tightly. Self-mastery is not a single decision. It is a daily war. And the enemy knows your weaknesses better than anyone. It knows when to strike. When you are tired, lonely, distracted, disappointed, or doubting. It does not attack your strengths. It attacks your excuses. But you are not powerless. You have weapons. Awareness is the first. When you recognize the voice of resistance, you strip it of its disguise. When you name it, you can fight it. So let's name the 4 mental enemies that sabotage your control. Enemy 1, the negotiator. The negotiator is polite and clever. It doesn't tell you to quit, it suggests you delay. Instead of today, how about Monday? It disguises surrender as planning. It convinces you that waiting will somehow make things easier. You obey and progress dies quietly. Enemy 2, the storyteller. This enemy creates narratives to justify your inaction. You're too tired. You had a long day. You deserve a break. These stories protect comfort, not growth. The storyteller is persuasive because it uses your feelings as proof. But feelings are not facts. Enemy 3, the forgetter. This one makes you forget why you started. The desire that once burned bright becomes a faint memory. The forgetter steals your vision, and without vision, even good habits fall apart. When goals feel far away, present comfort wins. Enemy 4, the doubter. The doubter is vicious. It attacks your identity. Who do you think you are? What if you fail? Others are better. Doubt kills potential before it even takes a step. The doubter doesn't fear your effort, it fears your progress. Now ask yourself, which enemy speaks the loudest in your life? Which one wins the most battles? Recognizing them is step 1. Step 2 is choosing a new response each time they attack. Here are 3 mental counterstrikes to build your internal armor. Counterstrike 1, the 1-minute rule. When your mind resists action, commit to just 1 minute of the habit. 1 minute of reading. 1 minute of motion. 1 minute of silence. Most times that minute becomes more. But even if it doesn't, you still win. Counterstrike 2, speak the identity out loud. Tell yourself the truth your enemies fear. I am a person who finishes. I am a person who shows up. Speak it to remind your brain what team it's on. Confidence is trained, not granted. Counterstrike 3, make the decision once. Instead of waking up and deciding daily whether to show up, decide once that showing up is who you are. No negotiation. No debate. Athletes don't decide if they will train. Farmers don't decide if they will plant. They show up because their identity demands it. This is how you break mental chains, by refusing to enter the argument. The moment you debate with your resistance, it has already won half the fight. Now reflect. How many times have you asked for results while feeding the enemy that blocks them? How many times have you blamed circumstances instead of confronting the war inside? Self-mastery demands you become your own commander. You give the orders, not your impulses. Interactive break. Finish these sentences. The enemy that defeats me most is under. My new response will be under. The voice I will obey moving forward is under. Your mind is a battlefield, but battles are won through strategy. The goal is not to kill resistance. It will always return. The goal is to overpower it faster each time. Here's the shift. Stop trying to silence the enemy. Instead, drown it out with discipline. The more often you take action while afraid, tired, or unmotivated, the quieter those inner voices become. They shrink in the presence of a determined mind. And soon a miracle happens. The war changes sides. The voice that once resisted becomes the voice that insists. Discipline becomes your default. Comfort becomes the enemy. And the old you? It no longer exists. This is the transformation you are chasing. Not loud success. Not external applause. But the quiet confidence of knowing that whatever the day demands, you will not fold. Control your mind and the world follows. Chapter 7. The Power of Routine, Building Your Day on Purpose. You can dream big, think smart, plan well, but if your days are chaotic and directionless, success will always slip through your fingers. People don't rise to their potential, they fall to the level of their routines. Your daily structure is the skeleton holding your goals upright. Look around you. Everyone has routines. Most are unconscious. Check phone. Scroll. Or scroll again. Sleep too late. Wake up tired. Repeat. These routines create a life on autopilot, a life that doesn't lead anywhere new. Self-mastery requires something different, intentional structure. Your day is a container. You decide what fills it. You either fill it with actions aligned to your future or with distractions tied to your past. The secret is not to schedule every minute. The secret is to prioritize like a leader. A powerful day has 3 elements: a morning anchor, a productivity core, a nightly reset. Let's break them down so you can build your own. 1. The morning anchor. Your morning sets the tone. Not because of motivational quotes, but because of psychology. When you make a win early, even a small one, your brain shifts into victory mode. You move differently. You think differently. You expect results. But listen closely. Your morning anchor does not need to be fancy. It needs to be consistent. Could be 1 page of reading, a short prayer or meditation, 5 minutes of movement, writing a daily target on paper. Choose one and make it sacred. No phone before your anchor. The world waits. Your mind comes first. 2. The productivity core. This is your peak performance window, the time you dedicate to the work that actually moves your life forward. The important few actions that create 90% of your progress. Not chores. Not busy work. The core. Ask yourself, what one task today matters most to who I'm becoming? The discipline here is focus. 1 task at a time. No switching, no multitasking. Multitasking is just doing multiple things badly at once. Lock in. Complete your core. That single act builds momentum that average days never feel. 3. The nightly reset. Success isn't built in the morning. It's built at night, by preparing your next attack. Write down, what did I win today? Or what challenged me? Or what is my priority tomorrow? You end the day with intention and begin the next with clarity. You sleep knowing your purpose is waiting. Now let's expose the real enemy, distraction. Every platform, every app, every notification is trying to steal control of your attention. If they control your attention, they control your time. And if they control your time, they control your life. You must protect the schedule that protects your goals. This is where boundaries enter the battlefield. Silence your phone during deep work. Block useless apps during the day. Limit entertainment to earned hours. Reward comes after the mission, not before. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If you don't design your day, someone else will. Your job, your friends, your cravings, your screen, they all have a plan for your time. None of those plans lead to your greatness. So you take back the wheel. Interactive break. Let's create your first mastery routine. Fill in the blanks. Morning anchor. Before I check my phone, I will understand for minutes. Productivity core. My main mission tomorrow is understand. Nightly reset. I will journal these 3 things every night. Understand. Post it on your wall. Read it every morning and night. This is your new operating system. Some days the routine will feel effortless. Other days your mind will rebel. The power is not in the perfect execution. It is in the return. You miss once? Resume. You break the chain? Restart. Discipline isn't about never falling. It's about never staying down. With each day structured on purpose, you become someone who doesn't wait for motivation. You manufacture it. Consistency is the ultimate flex. Imagine 3 months of anchored mornings. 3 months of doing your most important task first. 3 months of ending each night with reflection and reset. Who would you become? More importantly, why aren't you becoming that person? The real transformation starts when your routine becomes your identity. I am someone who shows up. I am someone who finishes. I am someone who moves with purpose. The world will adjust to the new you. But first, you must adjust the way you move through each day. Routine is not boring. Routine is the blueprint of greatness. Design your day. Direct your life. Control your future. Chapter 8. Emotional Control, Mastering the Storm Within. You can have the perfect routine, powerful habits, and a focused mind, but if your emotions remain untamed, they will hijack your progress. Your feelings can be the fuel that drives your ambition, or the fire that burns down everything you've built. Let's face this truth. Most people don't make bad decisions because they are stupid. They make bad decisions because they are emotional. Anger sends the message before the brain reviews it. Fear kills opportunities before they take their first breath. Frustration throws away months of commitment in minutes. Impulses break promises discipline has worked hard to build. If you do not learn emotional control, you will keep restarting your life from step one. But here's the good news. Emotional discipline is a skill. You are not a prisoner to your feelings. You can feel everything without reacting to everything. There are 3 pillars of emotional control. Build these into your daily life and watch chaos lose its power over you. 1. Pause before you react. The moment emotion floods your body, you must create a gap between feeling and action. That gap is where maturity lives. Instead of exploding or shutting down, ask, what is the smartest response to this moment? Anger says, attack. Fear says, run. Discipline says, think. A controlled pause protects your future from temporary feelings. 2. Identify the root, not the surface. Emotions are signals, never the full story. You're not angry about the dirty dishes. You're angry because you feel disrespected. You're not sad about the message left unread. You're sad because you feel invisible. Emotions speak in codes. Decode them and you fix the real issue instead of creating new ones. Ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to tell me? What deeper need is being threatened? What boundary is being ignored? The more accurate the question, the smarter the response. 3. Choose response over reaction. Reactions are automatic. Responses are chosen. Reaction, sending that message out of rage. Response, waiting until clarity returns. Reaction, quitting the moment progress slows. Response, adjusting the plan and continuing. Reaction, letting a bad moment become a bad day. Response, containing the damage and moving forward. Emotional control is not suppression. It's precision. Now let's get personal. Think of a moment when you lost control, when emotion took the wheel. What did it cost you? A relationship? An opportunity? Your own peace? If you could go back, what would you do differently? That question alone is awareness. And awareness is control. The emotional temperature check. Throughout your day, check in with yourself like this. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? What response aligns with the person I'm becoming? This turns emotion from a master into a messenger. You must also learn emotional conservation. Not every battle deserves a reaction. Not every voice deserves attention. Not every insult deserves a response. Your peace is precious. Protect it like treasure. When someone tries to provoke you, ask, is this worth my energy? Or is silence the smarter victory? Because silence is a strategy, not surrender. Now let's talk about one of the most destructive emotional patterns, spiraling. One negative thought leads to another and suddenly your entire life feels like it's collapsing. In those moments, zoom out. Your whole life is not falling apart. You are just having a hard hour. Separate moment from identity. You are not hopeless, you are human. Emotional mastery begins with compassion toward yourself. Interactive break. Fill in these blanks. I lose control most when I feel under. That emotion usually leads me to do under. A better response I will choose next time is under. This is your personal rewiring. Finally, remember this. Strong emotions are not your enemy. They are proof you are alive, passionate, connected, caring. The goal is not to feel less. The goal is to feel wisely. Imagine a life where words no longer control you. Impulses no longer sabotage you. Mood swings no longer determine your future. That life is not far away. It starts the moment you decide that peace is the new power. Control the storm inside, and the world outside becomes clear. Chapter 9. Self-Compassion, the discipline to rise again. Everyone celebrates discipline when you show up strong, when you win, when you perform at your best. But the real test of self-mastery isn't how you act on good days, it's how you respond on the days you slip. Because you will slip. You'll miss a workout. You'll break a streak. You'll lose control for a moment. You'll disappoint yourself. And when that happens, a ruthless voice inside will speak first. You failed. You always do this. This is why you'll never change. That voice is not truth, it is sabotage disguised as self-talk. Here's the shift you must adopt if you want permanent growth. Self-compassion is a discipline. It is not softness. It is not excuses. It is the decision to rise again without destroying yourself in the process. When you beat yourself up after a mistake, you are punishing the person who is trying to learn. Shame doesn't build strong people. Consistency does. Self-compassion says, I may have fallen, but I am still in the fight. Let's break down the 3 forms of compassionate discipline that keep you moving forward. 1. Separate failure from identity. A failed moment is not a failed person. Missing one day does not erase the days you showed up. Falling short does not rewrite your worth. Say this aloud. What I did is not who I am. The only people who never fail are those who never try. 2. Review the lesson, not the pain. Instead of replaying your mistake like a punishment, analyze it like a scientist. What triggered this? What can I adjust next time? How do I prevent the same scenario? Growth doesn't come from suffering, it comes from learning. 3. Return quickly. The most dangerous mindset is, I already messed up, so why not keep messing up? A cookie becomes a week of bad eating. A missed workout becomes a month. A bad hour becomes a bad week. Don't let a moment become a pattern. The rule is simple. Never miss twice. Break the chain, rebuild it immediately. Now let's address the hardest part, forgiveness. Forgiving others is challenging. Forgiving yourself is often harder. You remember your flaws too clearly. Your insecurities speak too loudly. Your past mistakes feel too heavy. But you must release the weight if you want to keep climbing. You can't build a new future with hands full of regret. Every version of you, the strong one and the weak one, was trying to survive something, trying to learn something, trying to become someone. Honor that effort. Interactive break. Fill in these powerful self-commands. When I fall again, I will understand. The lesson I gained from my last setback was understand. My comeback begins with understand. Put those answers somewhere you can see on hard days. Here is a truth few people will tell you. Self-improvement hurts more at the beginning than staying the same. Your old habits miss you. Your old comfort misses you. Your old weaknesses want you back. And every time you slip, they whisper, see? You belong here. But you don't. That's why self-compassion matters, because it keeps you moving toward the life that once felt unreachable. Imagine where you'd be right now if you never quit after the first mistake, or the 5th, or the 50th. Imagine if you just kept returning. That is what this chapter demands. Return. Not perfect, not motivated, not confident, just willing. Willing to continue the work. Willing to trust the process. Willing to believe failure is not final. You are writing a comeback story every day you choose not to stay down. Self-mastery is not built on perfection. It is built on persistence. Fall. Learn. Rise. Repeat. That loop is how legends are formed. And you? You're still rising. Chapter 10, The Mastery Blueprint, Your Life Re-Engineered. You've come all this way. Through awareness, habits, emotions, distractions, discipline, focus, and stress-proofing yourself against the world. Now you stand here, deeper than motivation, sharper than productivity, stronger than the old you. Chapter 10 is not just a conclusion. It is the operating system upgrade. The shift from practicing self-mastery to living it as your default setting. So let me ask you something uncomfortable, but necessary. Are you finally ready to stop negotiating with your potential? Think about the patterns you've broken since the beginning of this book, the truths you've acknowledged, the habits you are no longer willing to tolerate from yourself. Many people will read a book like this and treat it like inspiration. But inspiration is just a spark. A spark dies quickly without oxygen. What you have built is a fire, the fire of daily control, and this chapter exists to make sure you never let it burn out. Because here's the truth. Self-mastery is not a one-time transformation. It is a daily declaring of war against the version of you that wants comfort over greatness. The first declaration in that war. Your environment must reflect who you are becoming, not who you used to be. Go through your phone. Which apps feed your purpose and which ones numb it? Who do you follow? People who inspire growth or people who keep you entertained and stagnant? Look at your room, your desk, your browser history, your circle of friends. Do they elevate you or slowly drown you? Everything in your orbit is either pushing you forward or dragging you down. There is no neutral ground in the pursuit of self-mastery. Now let's talk about identity. You cannot consistently behave in a way that contradicts who you believe you are. Meaning, if you see yourself as inconsistent, you will behave inconsistently. If you see yourself as someone who always tries, you will live a life of incomplete attempts. If you see yourself as disciplined and unstoppable, your actions must follow. Here's the twist. The identity shift doesn't come after success. It precedes success. You don't wait to become a winner. You decide you are one, and then your habits prove it. So write this somewhere you will see daily. I'm not becoming, I am revealing. Because your best self is not a dream version of you. It's the real you buried under distractions, fear, and excuses. Next, accountability. Mastery doesn't grow in silence. You must track your progress the way a scientist tracks an experiment. Not emotionally, but honestly. What did you commit to today? Did you deliver? Why or why not? What pattern is forming? What needs correction? Every night, ask yourself these 5 questions. Did I stick to my priorities? Was I in control of my reactions? Did I honor my future self with my actions? What slowed me down and how do I minimize it tomorrow? What is the one win I will carry forward? These 5 questions alone can transform your trajectory in less than 30 days, if you take them seriously. Now, let's address the villain no one wants to confront. Fear of success. Yes, success, progress, capability, power. Some people fear it because it demands responsibility, because it exposes the lie they've been telling themselves, that they are not ready. But the truth is, readiness is built in action, not in waiting. If you hesitate every time your life starts leveling up, remind yourself. Self-mastery gives you permission to hold the greatness you already have. Finally, the mission. A mastered life is not a perfect life. You will have setbacks. There will be mornings when you feel empty, unfocused, or unmotivated. There will be moments where the old habits try to resurrect themselves. Mastery is not about never falling. It is about never falling back into who you used to be. You will rise faster. You will redirect quicker. You will recover stronger. Let this be your vow. No more autopilot living. No more emotional surrender. No more hiding from your potential. No more pretending you don't care. No more performing below your purpose. From today forward, every action is a vote for the future you've already claimed. You have the blueprint. You have the tools. You have the fire. And now, you have the responsibility to carry this discipline into the small, ordinary hours where champions are truly made. Your goal is not massive effort once a year. Your goal is daily control, small wins that compound into a life that feels unstoppable. When your alarm rings, that's mastery. When your emotions try to hijack your day, that's mastery. When distractions whisper your name, that's mastery. When weakness visits, that's mastery. When you feel powerful, that's mastery too. Because self-mastery is not about perfection. It is about ownership. Ownership of your time. Ownership of your habits. Ownership of your attention. Ownership of your energy. Ownership of your story. Mastery is not what you occasionally do. It is who you are every single day. So, stand tall, not because the world will applaud you, but because you finally, fully applaud yourself. You are no longer the version of you that waits for motivation. You create it. You command it. You control it. Welcome to Self-Mastery 2.0. Welcome to the life you were always meant to lead. From here, the world doesn't change. You do, daily. Close this chapter knowing one truth. Reading is not transformation. Execution is. The person you were before this book cannot be allowed to follow you into tomorrow. So here is your final assignment. Pick one habit that would change everything for you. Discipline, focus, health, creativity, prayer, business, anything. Write it down. Starting tonight, commit to that habit for the next 90 days without negotiation. No excuses. No resets. No disappearing acts. Track every day. Review every night. Hold yourself to the highest standard you've ever demanded of anyone. And when your old self tries to return, remind yourself, I am in control now. I don't wait for change, I cause it. Don't just believe in your potential, enforce it. This is your final page as the old you. Your first day as the master of your life starts now. Shut the book, stand up, and take the action that proves you're done reading about greatness and ready to live it.